Well, hello everybody. It is definitely way past time for creating with Christi. So I'm going to do a video on all my things I do today, which is Saturday, and share them with you. So it could be something I'm working on, something I got recently that I just want to do a close-up of, and close-up of whatever I work on this day, Saturday. So I haven't done it in a while. A lot of times I rattle on about stories and things like that, but what we're going to start out with first is the May hat. My hats, and more hats, and this May hat. Beautiful top. I'm really kind of proud of that. This was a touch of alpaca, right? Touch of alpaca. And I've been starting to do this. I've been starting to write used on some skeins, so I know how much, well, what I used it for, one hat, and used, so that way I can hang on to it, and if it weighs out about half, I can make another hat. But look at this hat on here, on the label. Yeah, that's kind of cool. So anyway, this was purple aster, 10% alpaca with halo. And I finished the hat this month, finally. This was May, so now we're into June. And I was thinking about putting a pom-pom on. So when we're all sitting here together, I will show you why I did not. Because let me see, can I get a little bit more light going on here? No, that's less. Let me see here. Let's do. Let's do that and see how that works. I don't think it did anything. Let's try again. That is more light, whether or not it's enough. Okay. So I was looking at all these colors, and I'm like, yeah, that's the mauve. This one is the indigo. I don't think so. And as I went through all of the different ones that I had available, nothing really goes with this color. So I guess I've decided to, this is the best one. I think the best one that actually goes. But I've decided, I guess, I'm not going to put a pom-pom on this hat. Now my plan was, whatever I worked on today, I was going to videotape. So if I was going to put one on, I was going to do it on camera. Well, that's not going to happen because I've decided not to put one on. So that is scrapped for the day. What I was going to do, and of course I just dropped that button. I was going to show you that button and show you that you put it on the inside. In the inside here, let me get it, and sew it on, And then if you used one of these with that hair tie on, you would wrap and wrap and wrap around the button, and then that would be how it would stay on. You would pull that down through the middle and wrap it around your button a couple times. And I've done it. I just prefer the snaps because I think they are, I don't know, they're easier for the customer. But anyway, so I've decided not to put one on. So I will just go on to the next thing I'm working on for the Creating with Christi Saturday. I'll talk to you in a minute. Okay, so now we brought out the Big Twist Acrylic. It is a value yarn, 380 yards. This is a Joann's. It even says distributed by Joann's right on it. I didn't realize that. And this color is Varsity Blue. I am making 4 hats out of this for a customer. And I was supposed to do them like a sun hat type style, bucket hat, whatever you want to call this. So basically you want a little air. So the V-stitch is perfect for the air. And then you want to bring it together, and she wanted a stripe. So I figured the Clash Hat from Bag O' Day was going to work good for me for this. So what I did was I worked through this in the same pattern as the Bag O' Day. And then when I got to the brim, I did 2 rows of the blue, 2 rows of the white, and then 2 rows of the blue to get the brim, or get the band. And then I went ahead and did the 3 rows. I think it's 3. 1, 2, 3. I did 4 rows of the actual last part of the brim, and it comes out exactly like I wanted. This is exactly. So today, working on these in my regular Saturday, makes. I've been working on the second one, and I'm using an H hook for the beginning. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows of increases, and then the 6th row and the 7th row are not increasing anymore. So yeah, so I've been just working on these once in a while, and I need to get going here and get these done. So why not work on them and put the video on while I do it? So this is what I like to do on Saturdays once in a while when I'm up to feeling like I want to work on something that's already started, and just do a couple rows, do an update, and create together. I bring out a whip. Sometimes I tell stories, and sometimes I just tell you what I'm doing. So this is just a V-stitch all the way around, and you basically are stacking your V-stitches. So you're going into the previous V-stitch, which is the chain 1 space of the V-stitch. A V-stitch is double crochet, chain 1 double crochet in this pattern. I don't know whether or not you could call it that in other patterns and do it a little bit differently, but this one happens to be where you put the V-stitch into the one previous. So I was just hoping to have maybe a second one done soon. It's not a long, drawn-out hat. This hat goes rather quickly. But boy, I'll tell you, the week is like speeding by lately, and I think, oh, I have time, I'll do it Tuesday, or I'll do it Wednesday, or I'll do half of it. Well, guess what? The week is gone and nothing got done. I think some of us can relate to that. Yeah, so I figured, what the heck, I'll do a couple segments of creating together, and basically what we're going to do today is talk about the yarns that we're working with. So this yarn is not splitting at all. It is smoothly going over my Susan Bates hook. It is an H, which is a 5.5 millimeter, and this is a 4 worsted, and it is absolutely easy going here. Yep. So I see everybody's running to Hobby Lobby. And I'm thinking, oh, I want to go. But I don't want to drive up there alone. And Doug said he wasn't going to go. You know he will. But I can't go during the week. It just doesn't fit. It has to be on the weekend. And the only day that they're open on the weekend is Saturday. And it's Saturday. And we're not going. So, I don't know. I kind of want to, and then I kind of want to wait. But I do know is I want to get at least a couple of those hand dyeds. And the reason I want to is because I want to have some to use in the sock challenge that just came up. Wouldn't that be great? Yeah. There's several that are on sale that fit that category. Oh, look at that. We came around to the last one, so we'll slip stitch in the double crochet, we'll slip stitch in the V-stitch, we'll chain one and start another row. Yeah, so I was thinking maybe I'll grab a couple of those hanks for the sock challenge for this year. I mean, I already have some plans of other ones to be putting into that sock challenge, which is a perfect time to tell you right now which the sock yarn is for June. Now, I showed this several times before, but why not do an update now? So if you're new here, maybe you don't know that I have a Facebook group and I have challenges in it. So this is the June colorway for the sock challenge for June. So all you have to do is start working on some socks, take some photos, put them in that post, and you'll be entered into this yarn for the June giveaway. This one happens to be, that's the colorway Zydeco. It is a superwash merino. It has 75% fingering weight, and it is got 25% nylon, 463 meters, or wait, does that say meters? Yards. And it is the Teeny Button Studio. Look at this. Look at this speckle. Yeah, a lot of you have seen it, but why not look at it again? I added a little mushroom stitch marker to it, and that is the June colorway for the socks. So I'm going to turn the video back off, and I'll meet you back in just a minute with another work in progress. Actually, I decided not to skip over to another work in progress. I decided to show you my toddler size clash hat from Bag O' Day. So what I did with this one is I didn't increase as many rows. I did use the H, and I stopped increasing at 1, 2, 3, 4 rows, which is this row, and then I started the regular rows after that, which made the hat just a little bit smaller. And then at the brim, what do you call the, I don't think she called this a brim. She called it a, I don't know. I can't remember now. Anyway, I did 2 single crochets, 2 rows of single crochet, and then I did a skip 2. So in the skip 2, I put a ribbon. And this is a good close-up of this because I couldn't get it in the videos that well. And so after that, I went ahead and put this ribbon through. And here's the back side. And I think this come out really cute. This orange and that orange and peach color looks really cute together. So that's a matching hat to go with my vest outfit. And there's your close-up of it. So yeah, so if you hadn't been watching any of the other videos, now you get to see that one. Okay, time for another work in progress. So this one is one I'm working on for the Cuddle Along. Now I'm going to show you a couple of skeins of the ice roving. No, ice cream roving. And I do want to say that I am shocked at myself. And the reason why is because I went crazy. I went nuts over this. This yarn is blowing me away. Okay, this ice cream roving. Now, I called it roving divagation. And guess what? Heather at the Crochet Witch says that a lot of skeins have a word and then have another word this means the same thing in another language or something. And so she says that divagation means roving. And I'm like, okay, all right. I believe you. Maybe it does. But who cares? I am absolutely loving this yarn. So this is one of the colorways that I got. And it's called Taffy. I haven't used this one yet. This one is a roving. So it has halo. And this one hasn't been beat up so much. So you can't see as much the halo. It works up very nice. I'm going to work on my blanket with you. 437 yards. Now, the other thing that I was shocked at myself was that I had bought some of this yarn a couple years ago when it first came out and didn't realize that I had. So then I went ahead and went crazy and bought 4 or 5 colors of it recently. I was gifted some, and so now I have some blue, I have some I don't know, I showed them in a video. Anyway, this color. And it is a 4 medium, 100% acrylic. So it's perfect for washing, you know, over and over. Or whatever. People are saying to me, well, it's going to have a halo. That's what I like. It makes it soft. Okay, so when I went in to put these away, I found this one. This is one from my first haul that I first tried it. And you know how I know? Because Heather said that those skeins were bigger way back. And they are. For 437 yards. Right? No. It's the same amount. They just look like they're bigger. Huh. Well, let's see. This one that I'm working with also has 437 yards, and this one is the licorice, right? Yes, this is the licorice. I'm working with this one now, but I brought this one out because I had found it and I didn't know I had it. This is the candy dots. Look at that color. Holy cow. Beautiful. So I have 2 of these. And they just, I can't stand it. It's beautiful. Alright, so what have I done with it? So far, not too awful long ago, I finished this sweater. There's your close-up of it. Maybe now you can see these little buttons with the gold inside. You can see the close-up of this pattern, how the colors changed on their own. Just love it, love it, love it. There you go. Now, to do the sleeves, I tried to color control this to the point of, you know, matching. And you start right here. So this works out just fine. And then this is where you cut for the sleeves. So it was pretty good. And they almost match. But when you get down, sometimes the color changes quicker. But I thought that I did pretty good. So that's the sweater done in the ice cream roving. So the work in progress, which has the skein attached to it, is the licorice colorway. I'm using the bigger needle, the 6.0 needle, on the blanket. This is called the Superbly Simple Granny Blanket. I will link all the patterns below that I talk about today. So no need to fret. You just open the box down below, and then you should find the links. If anybody has trouble with that, you can always just email me, and I'll drop. If it's a free pattern, I will definitely drop it in the links or in your email. All right, so here's the colorway and how it's working up in this Superbly Simple Granny. I love this blanket. I've done it a couple times, and it is making it so luscious and soft and cozy. Yeah, this is beautiful. And it doesn't skew the square. It stays straight because your 3 rows of repeating, and I'm not giving away anything that she didn't already because it's a free blanket. Your 3 rows are your V-stitch row, which is, there's my V-stitch. You don't let's see if I can see. I don't believe you chain in between. I'm doing it from memory right now. No, you do not. You do not. So your V-stitch is just a V-stitch in when you're going along. So if you start out with a regular granny stitch right here. The next row after your regular granny is a single crochet, chain 3 single crochet, and you do the single crochet in between the granny. So there's your granny, and then you chain 3 single crochet, and you keep doing it all the way around. So that's row 2. Row 3 of the repeat is a V-stitch, and you do your V-stitch you do your V-stitch in your chain 3, and when you come to the corner, you will do 2 V-stitches in the corner with the chain 3 separating them. So this is why I like this blanket, because this is 3 rows of easy to remember, easy to look back, and using a yarn that changes color like this, you don't even have to use your mind to create hardly anything. I'm tangled up in this. Got a little bit, it does hang up on itself a little bit. If you're just careful, it will come right undone. But every now and again, a yarn with a slight halo will knot up on itself. So you really need to be careful how you yank on it. Yes, I have had times when I've been stupid and yanked on it too much and got a knot and had to cut the halo out and release this mess. But if you're careful, again, it slides on my needle, just glides right across. I call it a needle, it's a hook, but there is no splitting, and the J, I should say, makes for a very fluffy blanket. And I really like the roving, you know, like it's not a real heavy roving. There's not a real very small section and then a very thick section. It's kind of staying around the 4. Maybe getting, right now it's a little bit lighter 4, and then in a little while it might get to be a little bit heavier 4, but that's about the range. So I kind of fell in love with this yarn, and again, I've got it caught up on my something back there. Okay, where am I? One. Yep. Yeah, so I guess this is the V-stitch videos. It just happened to be on the row of the V-stitches when I picked it up for today. So, yeah. So I'm planning on quite a few colorways with this pattern and with this yarn. And you will find the finished projects for sale in my Etsy shop, which is also linked below. Alright, well, I guess it's time to pick up another whip and talk about it and update you on where that is, or whatever I feel like talking about. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and I pulled out my yarn for June. This is Hats, Hats, and More Hats for June. This is a colorway Fairy Tale, and it is Universal Yarns Classic Shades Frenzy. I got it from Premier. It is very woolly feel because it is 30% wool. It says it's a bulky, which it is, it appears to be a little roving between a 4 and a 5. So I'm going to go ahead and use the bulky pattern from Ross. Smells a Great Guy. And the reason why I'm going to use this one is because, hey, Needles at the Ready has a Let's Hear It for the Boys make along again, and you need to use a pattern from a guy or yarn that a guy hand dyed or something to do with you know, promoting the male creator. Okay, so I figured, well, what the heck, you know, Ross hats are always on my needles anyway, but why not use the June yarn and make a knit hat out of this gorgeous yarn? So he recommends the 8mm. Now, I'm not going to use an 8mm today. I'm going to use my 5. And, well, I am a loose knitter, so go ahead and cast on 56 stitches, which is the pattern that he has free. I will link it below. So we're going to go ahead and use my 5mm and cast on 56 stitches together. So that's 9 and that's 10. How did I decide on where to start in the yarn? I wrapped it around my needle 10 times, took that amount and ran it through over and over until I got about 60 to 80 lengths, and then I just started. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. Yeah, I'm gonna have to count, girls. 12, 13, and guys, 14, 15, 16. Yes, we're casting on 17, 18, 19. Look at the color way. 20. Look at that. Beautiful. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. I always let it go and pick it back up and let it go and pick it back up, because I find that if I try to just keep it that way all the time, it gets too tight. 26, 27, and I like my 28, 29, 30. I like my first row to go rather, you know, easy and not so tight. So that was 30, right? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 16, 18, 22, 4, 6, 8. Yep, 30. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. As you can see, it's starting to spin and twist in my hand on the back, on the side that feeding out of the skein. I don't know why it's twisting like that, but it is. That was 40. 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, and 56. Now that is what he recommends for his bulky hat. I am not going to stop there. And the reason why I'm going to add more is because I'm using a smaller needle, and he does a brim of 3 by 2. So his is divisible by 5. So that's why. Now that is very strange. Oh, okay, I'm reading the medium. Sorry, I go back. 56 stitches. He is doing a knit 3 purl 1, which is divisible by 4. I don't want to do that, but I still want divisible by 4. So I'm going to add 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. It will just give me 1 more inch, and it may work out to where it's just that much bigger. So this is when you're gonna start knitting in the round. So you just leave that right there for now. I add on a stitch marker, and then I go into the first one, and you are going to use both of your tails for the first one, and you're just going to knit 2, not with both, just the one. So this one now, you only do it for one stitch, and this one now goes into the back. And that's when I usually cut it. And I cut it about yo. And then go ahead and knit with just the one. And then I will purl for 2. So knit 2. And purl 2. This is my preferred way. Oh, I caught another little thing in there. My preferred way to knit and purl, this is the way I have been doing it, and this is just the way I like it. So just continue on, and we have cast on a hat together. That is the easiest way of beginning the round for me in the joining in the round, I should say. That's the easiest way that I know. And then when you come back around, you will go through both of those loops that you had for your beginning of round and use the both of them, both loops, as your one stitch. And that's it. It will just tighten right down, and I usually leave that hanging in case I lose my stitch marker off of the needle, and then that way you can easily see where your beginning of round was by looking to see where that tail is hanging. And in that note, if you don't want to use a stitch marker, you don't have to. You can just know that that's the beginning of your round. And why I like to use a stitch marker is because it's just fun. It's fun to use different ones that I made, and you know. And so if you're talking and you don't recognize where you are, let's talk about this for a second. Each of these represents 2 knits and 2 purls. So the first 2 I did was knit, and there's the stitch marker. So there's my 1 knit and my 2nd knit. And if you look, the very next ones are purls, and they have a bar going across. These first 2 knit ones are not as obvious, but if you look at the next ones, they have a V looking at you. So there's your first V and your first row, and there's your first purl and your first row. Then there's 2 V's and 2 purls. So now if you set your work down, or you're talking like I am, and you see, is the yarn coming out of the last one in the front toward you, or is it coming out of the back away from you? If it's coming out toward you, that last one was a purl. So now I know that the next 2 are knit. So I will go ahead and I will knit 2. And then as soon as I'm done, I put my work down and I look and I say, am I on a knit or a purl? See how it's coming out of the back? That's a knit. So I figured I would share that because some are new. I am fairly new, but that's how I learned, and I figured I'd share it with you. Yeah, this yarn is gorgeous. It is going to be a beautiful hat. It really is nice. So I'm going to go ahead and do probably 2 inches of this knit 2 purl 2, but I'm not going to do it on camera. So I will go ahead and turn the video off and grab something else to work on and talk about. So that is the June hat started. This is something that I usually do at home, start the hat, and then take to work on a daily basis. And if I get a chance to do a row or 2 on a hat it makes the hat go so much quicker because I'm not paying attention to where I am. I'm just randomly working on it every now and again. So I'm going to go ahead and take this to work all next week, and maybe it will get work on. But this, at least it has been cast on now. So here we go. All right, time to turn the video off and be right back. Well, I am back. I brought out some of the squares for from our Creator Afghan, Granny Square Afghan. Yes, and this is the Lion brand Pound of Love. I have a newer cup. I had one earlier with some hazelnut. Now I have the peppermint mocha. So I brought out the Pound of Love because I want to do a square and do an update and that kind of thing with the squares. So I only have 4 done today for this video. I usually do about 9, and then do one on the video, but it's going to be a little bit shorter. So here's one of the squares, and as you can see, they are just gorgeous. They were sent in by the creators here. And it's been about a year now since I got my first square in the mail. And what my plan was is to put them all together and put them together with this Pound of Love. And I'm doing a fillet border. So basically it's a chain single crochet border. And sometimes I do 2 and sometimes I do 3. Between the single crochets, just to even it out, make them flat, make them all the same size. Some of them have 2 or 3 rows of the border on to make them the same size, and that's pretty much all I've been doing lately. This one is a little bit, but if I did another, you know, like, see how it's almost exactly the same? If I did another edging, another row, it would be way bigger. So you just have to yank them and block them a little bit so that they match. But it's going to be great. And so when I put them together, I'm going to be alternating back and forth and chaining back and forth between them to make a nice, I'm going to call it a vintage kind of, I don't know what you would call it, but a lacy edge. And this one almost matches up to the color. It's beautiful. If you have been paying attention and you saw your square on a video, wonderful. If not, I will get to it. I will get to it. Here's another one that's very unique. Now, a lot of the squares, they went crazy and did some amigurumis. This one happens to have this cool octopus in the middle. The eyes are really cool. He's got some character there. Yeah. He almost looks like he wants to grab a hold of me. These are beautiful. I did one row of edging on this one. There's a lot of texture on this square. And this square also had a stitch marker attached. So if anything came through the mail with a stitch marker attached, I'm leaving them on, because eventually I'm going to be giving away this blanket, and I plan on doing it when I hit 1,500 subscribers. Well, guess what? We're close to 13. It's been a year and we're getting nowhere fast, but eventually when we hit 15, this blanket will be going up for a giveaway, and that person will receive all of the love and stitches that went into this blanket, and that's going to be beautiful. And I can't change what I decided because, you know, that's just what I had said. So eventually we will hit 1,500. speaking of hitting 1,500, if you wouldn't mind sharing, you know, maybe we will get closer to it. But I have been using an eye hook and this beautiful Pound of Love, and I've been going in and adding the border on. And I think my bag that I've been using is getting down to like very few squares left in it. I'm gonna say there's not 20, I know that. There's maybe, I don't know, it's not half full anymore. The one that's done and the squares are ready to sew together, now that one is full and very heavy. Yep, so we'll do an update on that. This has been great. It's been so long, and I did a video on every single package I received and when I got the squares. You can go back and watch some of the addictions videos in 21, and they are on a playlist. And check out, you know, when I opened them. They're Smile Mail packages, and some people sent me, you know, more than one square, and some sent me teas, and it was great fun opening them. And now we are enjoying putting the squares edgings on, and we're going to be putting them together pretty quick here. Another milestone that's coming up that I want to mention is how the Facebook group, which is now, it's September, it'll be 3 years old. It has 984 members. People come, people go, right? But if we could all invite one person that are a member and are an active member. And I say active because there are people who never do challenges and are just quietly sitting there as a member. I don't know if they're reading posts or not. Then there's others that use it as their promoting ladder, which they've been muted or whatever. Then there are the ones that actually are there for the content, and that is to do challenges together, to make things together, to share ideas, not just constant dropping your links. So that is one of the things that is kind of like a rule in the group. Well, if you invite a friend and we hit 1,000, which we're very close, we're only 16 people away from hitting 1,000, then I am going to be doing a giveaway for just the members in the group. So what it'll be is it'll be 1,000 subscriber giveaway. 1,000 membership giveaway. And it will be in the group only, and you will have to comment on a post in the group. And then I'm thinking that I'm going to do it as a mystery, so we don't know what's in the bag until the winner wins it, and then I'll reveal it. I like to do those sometimes, but with 1,000, we should make it to be kind of a big one, right? You know, a couple skeins of something nice. Yeah. Well, so if you wouldn't mind inviting your friends that are crocheters or knitters, we have now started doing a lot more knitting things on the group because I learned how to knit, and why not? Why not? Some of the patterns that I've knit with the yarns that we crochet with look so much better in a knit pattern. No, I stayed home today, did not go to Hobby Lobby. I stayed home to do videos for you guys. It's killing me. I want to get in the car and drive out to Hobby Lobby. Oh my gosh. Well, I just don't want to drive out alone. That's my main point. It's just too far to go alone. It's no fun. Of course, if somebody would meet me there, that would be fun, right? Yeah, the closest one is what I call Horseheads or Elmira. And so, email me if you want to meet there, because I don't want to publicly put that up. So if you are a really good follower and a creator, and you heard me say that, and you'd like to meet up, email me, so that way it's not, you know, the known place and time and etc. is not on public. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and, oh yes, I'm going to show you my little other box. I have a couple of needle holders. This is a minder, which means that it is magnetic, and then your needles stick right to it. I love this box. I've had it quite a while. I need a couple more of these because I like the fact that when you throw it in your bag and stuff, it's small and it is magnetic, and they don't fall off as easily. It doesn't mean they don't still fall off. They probably do. But we'll go ahead and finish up this one. And so we have 4 done for the day. And then I think I'm going to do one more update. Maybe more, I don't know. But one more update I'm planning on. And I've been weaving in my ends as I go, because who wants to weave in 2 tails on every single square all at once? I'd rather do it now, get it done, and know that I don't have to go back and do that. So I hope you are enjoying this update, and I will be back soon with another works in progress. This one is beautiful. She used a brown variegated center on that. Isn't it gorgeous? Really nice. Double layer flower. Sunflower. Beautiful. All right, thank you, and I'll talk to you soon. All right, I'm back, and as you can see, I have a bag out here that has snowmen on it. It is a beautiful bag. I love it, love it. I love my snowmen. And it is holding some of my Glorious Granny squares. Now, this Glorious Granny is a year-long make-along that a bunch of you are doing. And that is a close-up of that colorway. Now, what I've been doing is I've been using some of the Red Heart, I think it's Red Heart ombres. Is it Red Heart? Let me look and see. It is Lion Brand ombres. That's the ombres. So they are Lion Brand. And this one is, it's hard to keep these intact, so it is in a small bag, and that way it doesn't get all wrapped up in all the other stuff. So that's the inside squares, part of the squares. And then what I've done is I have changed the colors on the outside of the square to be this I Love This Yarn print. You get these from Hobby Lobby. And so what my squares will be inside one color and outside the other color. So that's what I've been trying to do. Now, a lot of you have been posting a square a month, and I have been loving them. There's a couple girls who are doing the Glorious Granny in a big, big, giant one blanket, and that's fine too. Whatever way you decide to do it, as long as you work on it and post your photos every month, then you're entered in. And as you can see, I'm using a snowman stitch marker as well. If you are posting a progress photo in the month, then you are entered into the drawing for the month. So no, that was wrong. What is going on here? Okay. All right. So then you get your name into the drawing, and then I have been giving out one set of stitch markers per month. I haven't picked this up in a while, so I'm looking to see what the pattern is from memory. So yeah, the girls so far that have won have received 3 stitch markers. Now these stitch markers are made by me, and they have a set of 3 letters. So today's video, I'm going to show June's set of stitch markers that are planned on being shown or being given away in June. So what I'm going to do is cover my granny square with a paper so that you can see the June set of stitch markers. These are F, E, F, and G. And they are the round lever backs with a seahorse. So that is the set for June. And I've been giving it out around the beginning of the following month. So you have all month to put a photo up. Some people don't put a photo up every month, but as long as you have a photo up the month before, you're still entered. Don't get 4 months behind, because then I'm going to drop you off as non-participating anymore. But in this blanket, I was trying to do about a 22-inch square, and I'm behind, way behind. So my blanket might end up not being as big as I thought, because I may not get 12 squares done because I'm behind. But I am still working on it. So I thought I'd bring one out today and show you. Now remember, all of the patterns that are able to have links that I talk about in this video will be linked below. This is called the Glorious Granny, and it is by Fiber Spider, and I will link that pattern below for everyone to go and view. If you are not making it already, then maybe you could still join. There's plenty of time to catch up, or you could do one of the big blankets. I'm just letting you know that that's what's going on, and that's an update on my granny squares. So I'll go ahead and skip over to another work in progress and talk about something else. Okay, I think we are on the last update of the day. I brought out my scrap blanket. This is my Navajo blanket. I work on it very, very few times a month. All I've been really doing is doing my Navajo, my favorite Navajo pattern with the diamonds in it. And just using the scraps from my hats and things like that. And so it's been, you know, just whatever I feel like putting in. And every now and again, I've been doing an update here. This is the blanket that hangs in the background of my videos. And I just think that's the perfect place to have it, because it's, you know, always being updated, and pick up different scraps. So what I decided to add on today was some of this. Sometimes I do 1 row, sometimes I do 2 rows, depending on how much yarn is on the scrap. So this is a raspberry colorway that I used for a hat. I don't know how, not that awful long ago. And it is a Walmart mainstay. So it's perfect to put in a scrap blanket because it's acrylic. So I'm going to go ahead and add some of this in now. And I may do a row or 2, and then I might, if I have some left over, several inches down the road, I might add some more. But what I've been doing is leaving a tail for fringe, and then just joining in a couple, you know, 5 to 6 inches of your tail. And then the first stitch that I do is through both loops to try to give that a little bit more of an anchor. And then just finish your single crochet, and then go on to doing your pattern, which is in the back loop only. So you go a single crochet down through every stitch that is presented to you until you come to the pattern stitch. And this happens to be going in the left hand direction, so we'll go ahead and do the single crochet into the first double presented, and then we will do a double, and it is done on the 1 row down, and then it sets it off, or it lays it on top of your work. And then in between is always an odd number of stitches. So this one happens to have 5. This row happens to have 5 in between. And then as soon as you get your 5 done, you will put another double crochet, because your triangle there, your diamond there, I should say, is on its way down. So you're making it smaller and coming to the point. And then your next section will be another uneven amount of stitches. And you can't drop one of these, because your mosaic part, your overlay, will not come out right. You do need to either count them. Well, you know, a lot of times I do count them. But you do have to make sure that you stand the right amount of stitches. And again, you're going to come up to your double crochet, and you're going to go in the back loop and make a single in that double, and then you're going to drop down and do a double on the row below. Then you're going to do 5 singles in the back loop. I'm using an eye hook throughout this blanket, whether it's a, you know, a 4 or a 5 light, or maybe a heavy 3. I've just been throwing whatever scraps in here that are pretty much acrylic, or have something on it that says that it's machine washable, or, you know, because someday somebody's going to get this blanket in my family, probably my daughter, and she won't, you know, think about hand washing it. Of course not. So there's an update on this, and I'm glad that I picked to do this, because now after a year or so, it has become a labor of love, and all of my hats I've been doing on the channel have been showing up here. Some of my shawls and cowls and different other things are in this blanket. So things that I've shared with you are now also a piece of this blanket. And you can even see some sparkle yarns in here from Hat Not Hate, I believe that yarn was. There is some of that variegated green, what do you call this? Camo. There, and also the other thing I'm doing is the edging is an I Love This yarn in this lavender colored gray marl something. I'm using that for the middle stitches. So when you get to a row where you know that you're going to do this middle stitch and start it where it comes together at the crossroads, then I use the I Love This yarn in the gray for that row. So there is some kind of symmetry there going on, because as you can see, there it is again. It came to the middle of a diamond, so I used the gray. Here it is again. I use the gray and the purple in every one of these cross. So one more, let me see. You'll end up with a 5 and then a 3 and then the 1. So one more row of regular color, of whatever color, maybe a pink. I don't know yet. I don't think I want to do 2 rows of this pink or this raspberry next to each other. Let me know what you think. But it's not like I'm on purpose placing them. But I do have a gray row coming up. So that'll be not the next row, but the one right after that. It'll end up being a gray row. So I'm thinking not another color, not another row of pink. Let's do something else, and then the gray. And maybe on the other side of that, we can do another pink. I don't know, but it's fun. It is very, very satisfying to use my scraps up. I know I have a bag of them to go in here. So I'm not lacking on any scraps, that's for sure. All right, okay, so what else do I want to say? If you're enjoying my videos, you can always buy me a coffee. It's down below. We have a thank you on the videos now from YouTube. That's nice of them to do. Let's see. You can find me at all the places in the group. Look for that 1,000 creator group there. Hit the 1,000 mark. I'm excited about that. Lots of good things for July coming up too, with both Stephanie from Stephanie's Yarn Escape and Bev from Beverly's Crafts. And I don't know, let's see. I think I'm updated. Oh, I know. Bracket game. Yes, we're playing a summer bracket game. And to get in that, you have to watch Addictions number 108 and follow along on all the Addictions videos, because we have some grand prizes that are awesome and some basket prizes that are awesome. So I will talk to y'all later. Take a moment out of each day and be creative. Talk to you later. Bye now.